we've tested up to this 50 session moving average. We're really this week just kind of hanging around weekly kickoff high, which in the July contract is 61.45, 61.43, whichever. They're all zones anyway. So, um, and we're really just kind of basing and centering around there. That is no long time frame movement in a direction. That is rollover. Rollover has a tendency to create ranges. Let me see what else I got here. Yeah, there's really been no reaction, and I think a lot of that is the fact that it is rollover, and the longer time frame traders are working on getting a cheap rollover or making money on the rollover. Uh, Take a quick look at the 30. This market's been a little bit of a beast to trade. I think,
Mm.
we broke below. We tested back to the weekly kickoff low here, 61.45. Found some resistance there. Found some resistance up there overnight. There is an unfilled gap this week that goes from the high from yesterday, 61.58 up to 62.56. I've adjusted most of the other visuals to the July contract on this. So we might open with a gap, maybe overnight inventory. Is there any overnight inventory? Not really. Maybe getting a little bit to the long side, but that's nothing that I would be hanging my hat on for any opportunities. Question is, do we come up and fill the gap? Do we fail to get into the gap and maintain the gap? Do we turn our back around and come back into range and value from yesterday? Very small range from yesterday. We lost 35,000 in open interest, as Hoop was saying, but look at the range there. I mean, it was just liquidation. It was longer
Yeah.
time frames, just getting out. Maybe looking for a better entry into some levels on the future months. If they're legging it, that's risky, but they're willing to take that risk. Hoop, what do you think of crude?
Next, 60
Next,
next, 60. I'm a little bummed that, 60, a little bit above 63. I've been looking for a short up in there because I don't believe in these rallies because I think we have an administration that wants to keep this commodity down,
down.
and it's
Mm,
it's very range boundy. I just think 63 and change was the high end of the range. It's rollover. Crude used to have this potential to just get where everybody wants to get in, just running the stops and then reversing. Um, yeah, I mean, the only thing that gets it a little tight, trying the short side up in here is the seasonality of what we're doing. But I think a lot of those, D and I have had this conversation, a lot of those old things that, from the market that was traded the most at this company, years
yeah,
ago, and to what it is now. It's just it doesn't. It's a different market. So
yeah.
I like
It was
selling
also
rallies in there. Yeah,
it was also trading $100 back then, so had some pretty big
correct.
ranges. And yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, let's go
Mhm.
through gold real quick here, and we'll see what's we got going on in
Ready?
crude. The weekly chart teetering, teetering
Hmm.
on the risk of changing market state from rally to range bound to trend lower. Could it happen? Well, if we continue to see equities pushing to the upside, that could be something that would be a probability here. Let's take a look at the daily chart. So, yes, range goes from high to low to low to high to low. Again, are we at risk of breaking this kind of important level? I think everybody's looking at this level, Hoop.
Yeah,
And we're looking at it now. I mean, I think we're sitting in a position with a little bit of profit in it. I want to see it maintain price below that 31.80, and then I think we
yeah,
might see some sellers coming into this market. Take a look at the 30. Here we go. So again, 2 days of that weekly kickoff holding as support in the regular trading hour session. Are we going to break it, or are we going to reject below it? We rejected below it in the overnight the night before last. Are we going to reject it again, come back into range, come back into value, and see this market kind of recover back up a little bit to the upside? I think a lot of that depends on the equities. Uh,
yeah.
Yesterday was a trend day to the upside. We left the opening range at the dead ass low, and the profile was no more than 3 TPOs wide at any point. That is a trend day to the upside. But that overnight failure, that overnight trend to the downside is, what was that? There was no
Mhm.
change in open interest. I mean, no change in open interest on that whole rally to
Yeah.
the upside. What's that telling us? Liquidation meets new shorts, whatever it was, man.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we had, we were, we got going the day before, and then we got that big wick and tail in there, and we bounced off there. Technically, I think visually for me, I'm looking at 3,100 is going to be a spot we're going to take a run to. Just because of equities gaining steam, feels like there's basically a crack in this market. So I just know selling gold it wasn't very easy for a long time. You get run over pretty quick, but I think that market, once again, Hogue, the best traders, they adapt to the market state, not trying to, you know, the
Yes.
market's telling you that they're like you said, we're teetering here, so
Mhm.
it's an important area for sure. The next couple days.
Yep. All right. Well, we got a couple of minutes to get prepared for the crude opening range trade. Eddie, what do you got as far as news around the crude, dude?
Dude, I'm going to tell you what we've got here. We got some crude that I will include. We've stewed and viewed and accrued, and this is what I've got. Oil prices steadied today here after sharp declines in previous sessions, but we're still on course for weekly gains after the surge at the start of the week. We did see Brent were 0.4% higher. WTI edged up zero point 0.3. And that's about all I've got here for our crew. Not too much going on here, but I'm going to pass it back to you guys, see if we got a trade here in about 3 minutes. Back to
All
you,
righty.
JD, Johnny, and Hoop.
Hey, buddy.
A
Be
decent
back with
pullback here
you
in the
in a minute.
equities, guys.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Yes, that is a decent pullback.
Hmm.
Seen some selling in
Back to the
gold right now too. We got a little bit into this trade right now.
Yeah, I
I do
was
want
going
to
to
see a five
join
minute
you up
bar.
there.
I do want to see a 5 minute bar close below 3180. Like Hogue was saying, it's been bouncing off that level for the last 20 minutes or so.
Get stuck to it.
Yeah, it really is. We're jockeying between weekly kickoff low and yesterday's value area low. 3180 to
Oh,
84. It's been a range, 5 minute range for the last
somebody make a decision.
couple of bars.
Somebody
Now
make a
would be the
decision
time.
here. Yes.
If we can get a significant close
Either
below
way.
that 3180, I'll add on another contract to this trade. But so far, we're just jockeying for position around this level.
I'd be just waiting for that.
Hmm.
On the day of the
All right.
Michigan number, I feel privileged to be around JD because he's one of the few people I've never heard of anybody who actually got the $5, and then
It
it's kind of cool to be
happened.
around a guy. Hey, I got one of
It's a true story, folks. They actually send
those.
out an envelope with money in it.
So does my grandma on
how,
my birthday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
how
right?
long ago? How long ago was that, JD?
Oh, it's got to be at least 5 years ago.
Do you think because of inflation now they send like $10 out?
Maybe. Some guy in the chat said that they sent them $25 for it.
I
I
was
don't know
going
if
to
I
say
believe
maybe
it.
they send
Really?
20 now.
Inflation.
There we go.
Inflation.
Opening
Uh,
range.
they just want you to
Ooh,
feel
there's a pop
guiltier
an hour.
if you don't do anything.
We have a
10 bucks
CYA
for
on in gold, right?
5 bucks. Yes, it's up at where do we put it? Up at
Mm,
93.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a good spot.
It's pretty wide. We're only risking $200, but the stop is wide.
Yeah.
We just got a couple micros on.
okay.
Equities to keep
Uh,
bleeding.
10 tick opening range in crude right now. 10 ticks.
At a
Right
low
at
of
the right there.
6142.
Right at the session high from yesterday.
Volume on the
6150.
ladder is horrible.
2.
10, 15 contracts on both sides.
Well,
All
one
right,
of
we're
the
working our
things that
stops to enter.
you guys might want to know here is India increased its crude oil imports from the United States, making the U.S. the fourth largest supplier as the country aims to improve its trade negotiations. Moving up. It's like the Jeffersons.
Tell him,
Thank
Wheezy.
you.
All right. All right,
Taking
Wheezy.
some heat on this. Taking some heat on this gold trade now.
Getting jumpy.
Tripping.
Dang. Yeah. So has the decision been made here at this level? Are they going to buy it?
It looks like it. 6180 held. I'm okay just dumping this trade.
Yeah, I mean,
Dump
we'll
away.
just hang with it.
Dump away.
Now we'll see if we get a pullback down to that level and see if we can buy it.
We covered. Lost $80 on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Paper cut.
Yep.
Paper cut.
Sounds like something
Now
you
we
take
know.
when you're
80 held. We
ingesting.
bought on a downtick. Covered on a downtick. I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw
Now
some
we're
back
waiting
teen on
for-
it, Brady.
It was worth $80 just for the entertainment.
Sure. And now we're waiting on a trigger in crude oil.
It's only a 10-tick range, opening range in crude oil.
Tight. Super tight.
Yep. After yesterday's gargantuan 60-tick range.
And we're still going to get a 3-minute opening range out of it. So we are technically now trading a 3-minute opening range breakout in crude. And we're in 61.54, a long one crude oil contract. What do you like for a CYA here? Do we expand it or keep it tight?
Long.
Hey.
Right now I'm down at
So-
61.37, 36.
37. 37 is value high from yesterday.
Okay.
TPO value high is
TPO, okay.
31.
We have volume value high at 34, 61.34 on TopstepX.
Yeah, so it's right between the volume value and TPO value. TPO value is 61.31.
Market's just the market's dog.
A little choppy.
Dog. Yeah.
What
During
happened to gold?
rollover,
Gold's
it's just
still
an
going
absolute
higher.
dog.
Yeah. Good exit still so far in that gold trade.
Yeah, we don't want to be Uncle Julius and hold on to the losers until they become winners.
Yeah, that's not what we're trying to do here.
No. Get out.
Mortimer, your brother. Screw him.
He's not well. Been a Duke on this exchange since it was founded. We founded this exchange. It's ours.
It's ours.
What a perception change in the world of commodities from that era to now. You know, like
Yeah.
every stuffy guy in the world was a commodity broker, and now it's Lamborghinis, and you know, it's a completely different look at it.
This isn't
Ew, I wonder-
monopoly money we're playing with.
And all the big brokerages that had the big offices and
Yeah.
you know, it was
I love the
it was
60 guys around a huge table, all throwing their money clips on the table, right?
Yeah.
We'd all. Do you think any 20-year-old now he has a money clip? I would beg to differ.
Yeah,
We
especially in
used to use
Chicago. There's
just
no
trading cards.
Yeah.
We put our money inside a trading card, and that would be our money clip.
Yeah,
you,
that's
Yep.
right.
you flash a
That's
roll of
right.
you flash a roll of cash anywhere in the city of Chicago, and someone's just going to take it away from you. It's foolish to
Yeah.
carry cash around.
74% long gold. Gold's moving up here.
You want to
We
take
used
a
to
look
call
at the
those
cattle chart?
floor wallets
Floor
using
wallets.
Yeah,
trading cards. The rubber
yeah.
band around it.
Rubber
Yeah, let's
band.
do it, though.
Yep.
Let's do it, Oop.
Um, it rolled to August. The uncatchable, uh, I guess that's a 3-bar reversal, right? More like a 3-bar train wreck. This market from a daily perspective, it's had I've been talking to people, when markets crack, I mean, cattle's just been on a tear for, you know, almost a year now. Um, and we were talking about it yesterday when the guy from Tyson Chicken comes out and says, I think we got the supply issue figured out in cattle. Maybe he's trying to feature chicken. Um, but this market also has shown a crack now. Um, and there's a lot of room. If the cash market really starts to roll over where 200, can come pretty quick, after just being at, now, like I said, we're trading August. We just rolled yesterday. Um, but, you know, it's the old thing, escalator up, elevator down, especially in ag markets. Um, they come fast. So the only thing that I see in here today is on the 30-minute, we're coming right to, and this is like when we talk about those points of coming right here. We hit it yesterday and we came back and retested it. And that's right around at, come on, 205.30, which is probably where we're going to open. So the opening for any people that are trading cattle would be, to me, will be pretty critical this morning. And Hogue, it's yesterday would have been a heaven day for me on the floor because you had cattle down 400 points and you had hogs up 130.
Oh,
So, those, there was a market for trading cattle hog spreads. And especially this time
mhm.
of year, when pork gets featured more, hogs tend to rally, cattle tends to come down. So there used to be a really nice, you could leg in and do all those fun things, where it was intermarket spread, kind of like a gold, you know, equity. Once they get going one direction, you just strap on and keep playing that trend. So cattle's at a pretty big inflection point here today. So I'd keep an eye and see how we open.
Yeah, is that the
And obviously,
200 session
traders, we
moving average?
open at the same time as the equities. So not everybody wants to watch cattle. They'd rather watch the Nasdaq and the ES.
Is that the
Hmm.
200 SMA that's coming across right
Yeah,
there?
yeah. We're right. And those markets really respect. You know,
The,
they got the old school
yeah.
guys in there. Um, but and a lot of those guys uh, are struggling a little bit with the world of commodities today. That I was talking to big money. That that's the ags have a lot of hedging that goes on there behind the scenes that nobody really sees anymore. But as a lot of these big brokerages houses have kind of gone by the wayside, like O'Brien, JD, we were talking about them.
Yep.
Um, these guys are having a little bit of a problem, having large positions in back months. These guys, I mean, them, Hogue, they'd have 500,000 contracts out
Oh,
between,
yeah.
the front month and then December. And a lot of these newer brokerages don't want to mess around with the illiquidity of, you know, way out back months. So, yeah, a lot of these guys are, according to what Wally was telling me, that they're struggling a little bit to find homes for
To be able to
those
just to
type of
be able to
traders these
trade.
days. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they want
Hmm.
they want the Robin Hood world. They want the front month and trade 6 markets and that's it, you know.
Right.
Mm,
Well, that makes sense. I mean, all the old
yeah,
school brokerages seem to be, by
kind
the
of going by the
wayside, sort
wayside.
of. I mean,
Yeah. Hmm.
Dorman, I could see,
Hmm.
but like all the companies I was a runner for, like Stotler, which was
Hmm.
basically Duke and Duke, and
Yeah. Before it
Conti,
was Duke and Duke.
those are all gone.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. What was the big one that crapped out in the day? It took down a lot of
Well, there was
people, but
Bear
this is the one
Stearns,
of more. This is the bigger. Yeah.
MF Global.
Lehman,
That's still. Yeah.
MF Global. Yeah,
MF Global. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
I was
ugly.
there. I was locked out of the Board of Trade building that morning.
You just knocked on the door and
Along
they
with
said, "No, man,
Yeah, I
none of
believe a lot
you
of
our
can't
people
come in."
were.
I walked in and
Yeah.
there were hundreds of people standing around. None of our key cards worked to get in the building. Everybody they cleared under the umbrella of MF Global was locked out of the building.
Surprise, surprise.
I
The worst
remember,
feeling ever for a trader is to take his ID
uh,
badge and swipe it and it doesn't go.
and
Just
it
Yep.
going,
turns red.
hold on. Uh-oh. Come on. Come
I
on. And you just
remember
keep going.
when Refco bought Chicago Grain, they just came and took everybody's badges off their coats.
Nice. Hey, you're done. Yeah,
Yep.
you're done. Yeah, it was very that's one thing I don't think you see unless you see it on YouTube now. Uh the what would happen on the exchange was fairly public. If if your clearing manager comes down to the floor and says, "Hey, I need to talk to you for a little bit," out of the pit, you're like, "Uh-oh, I
Uh,
might need to get the checkbook out." Very public back on, now, unless somebody posted on YouTube where they're having a train wreck at home, smashing a keyboard. Um,
right.
yeah, very public. I still like to short in gold.
Yeah, right back to our entry price on that short.
Mm. I just think the equities are range bound. They bounced off their bottom and then go. I mean, this has kind of been the trend. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Equities held overnight VWAP.
yep.
Hmm. Right back down to 80. Weekly kickoff low. Here we go again. 3180.
Right.
Hey JD, has your dad been carving up the grains with them moving now?
I didn't talk to him yesterday. I think he's actually out of power today. There's a huge storm in Southwest Michigan overnight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my
I'll give
daughter
him a
has no
call in a
power
little bit.
today. She ain't gonna get it back until tomorrow, and she's about a half an hour away from us here.
Oh, he's got a
Tornado warnings
generator
Have a
at the
good
last night.
house.
report? Yeah.
He's got a
I
generator
got
at the house, but I think his internet's probably down.
I got 5 minutes
Yeah,
of rain, 2 pieces of hail, and then the sun came out.
Welcome to Chicago.
Yep.
Yep.
Depends on where you are.
Tornado Alley.
And out
What are we
here,
thinking in the what are we thinking in the equities, guys, for the open? Looks like we may open with a gap in the S&Ps, but not in the Nasdaq. Find that to be interesting. They've been
that
they've been
number's
so
right at
hand in hand for so long, and there seems to be a little bit of a break in that.
and that number's right at the top of the hour, right? After the open,
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Michigan. Yeah. I wouldn't touch equities before that. For
Is it
me.
9 o'clock?
Yeah. I think it is.
Yes, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may do better just to wait for that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I would love to see a nice
It's
Friday
Friday,
rally,
Hogue. Yeah.
grind shorts to a pulp. Does that sound mean? I guess it
Yeah,
does.
it did sound a little vindictive, Hogue. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
It was fine, Hogue. It was
I'll
fine.
trash you MFers and
It's not really me, but it reminds
it's
me.
Friday. You have some bitter Fridays in your trading days, right? Come on. We all do.
It reminds me
Like
of
standing there
Pulp
at
Fiction.
11:30 going, God damn it, what am I doing down here today?
Exactly. What am I doing here?
Mhm.
Which gets in the cab after the boxing match, and the cab driver asks him, "What's it like to kill a man?" He's like, "He didn't know." And he's like, "Well, you know, he probably shouldn't have gotten in the ring anyway." So you get
Uh,
into trading, you know what you're in for.
oh yeah, 100%.
That's one thing with trading:
Bouncing up.
highest of highs, lowest of lows. If you can accept that, come on in.
That's why when you see these dorm room traders and younger guys, like I'm sorry, the guy was on yesterday with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Paul? Paul
You know,
K.
seeing
Paul
those
K.
guys, yeah, and sometimes not having a lot of history behind you probably tends to make you a little maybe not so jaded when you're
Mm-hmm.
trading the markets too. You know, I think some of the newer people don't have. I mean, don't trust me; they'll learn. But you know, um, that's
It's
the
a
whole
different
thing you were saying
mindset.
the other JD. Yeah, it's
It's a different
cheaper
mindset
to
with the
get in
younger
this business,
generation. Yeah.
but it's harder to
They never,
succeed because you don't get any
yeah.
help really besides us.
But for $50 for a shot at the title is a lot different than like
Yeah,
when you and Ho got started,
you
even
had
when I got started,
to
they didn't
pay a lot of
they didn't have
different
to fight
dues. Yeah,
they didn't have to fight and scrap for years to put together, a $25,000 $50,000 stake
right.
just to get into the market,
There goes gold.
There
It's
it
a
goes.
completely
Yep.
different mindset.
Ah, so Lenny did. Lenny did. Lenny did a little
Crude,
bit.
81% long, 80% in the money, 84% long, 84% in the money, 61.45 crude running north.
We certainly did Lenny that trade.
You
Shit.
know, and it's just it's such a that's such a beauty to me of a learning right there, JD and Hogue. You know, where you're just like, yeah, it's Friday. I really don't want to putz around with this. And once again, it's a decision you make, you live with. But you do journal that one right there to saying, hey, you know, I should have just let it play out.
Yep. We weren't
And
taking a lot of
really,
risk
we
on it.
didn't. No, you said it. You said that right from the box. So yeah, that's trading. It's a perfect
Yep.
example right there.
Well, boys and girls, we are entering the end here of our session, and want to pass over to Hoop Hoop. Any closing comments, real quick
Nope,
here?
I'm just going to stay patient until the number comes out, and then we'll see what kind of transpires from there. And then maybe I'll just it's good with the number coming out. I'm going to focus on the cattle.
All right, JD.
Well, we still have a trade on. We're long one crude oil contract,
Oh, that's right.
61.54. We got a couple ticks in the money right now, so I'll continue to monitor that, and I'll be popping in and out during fast markets to update you guys on how this trade plays out. Other than that, it's Capital Preservation Friday, so make sure you are trading with stops. The only thing you have any real control over is your downside risk, so make sure you're always trading for tomorrow, folks.
And Johnny
Catch you
Hogue.
guys in a little bit.
So yeah, it's Friday, Capital Preservation Friday. It's not fun to get all biffed up on a Friday and be the last guy standing in the pit after noon. So stay humble, grateful, creative, and centered. Pray for peace. Breathe in and out all day. Let's have a good trading day and hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Be right back.
All right. Peter Tuckman coming up here. We got Mandy, Deanna. We got Sarah going to be joining us. George, Diamond Hands. And boy, we got lots going on here. Coming up here for Fast Markets. Last week, talked to number 6, Coach Dakota. He was up 13 in his live funded account, trading 10 and NQ minis. We're going to find out how it ended when he and Mohammed, Mo, going to join us next in Fast Market. Take a slight break, a quick break, and we're going to be right back.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Why Top Step? Because traders shouldn't have to risk everything to participate in the markets. And since 2012, we've provided capital to over 10,000 futures traders just like you. From the pits in Chicago to screens in over 143 countries, we've been motivated by one simple idea. We don't care who you are or where you learn to trade. If you pass TopStep's trading evaluation, you'll be invited to trade with our capital in a fully funded account. As a Top Step funded trader, you keep 90% of profits and we take the losses. We also offer educational resources for all levels, live classes, and free group coaching from a team with over a century of professional trading experience. We're invested in your success. So what are you waiting for? Ditch the brokerage account, start learning by doing, and become a Top Step funded trader today.